Today on WSRH Extra, we see how overdevelopment is affecting a new local community.
Also, we take a look at how younger students are handling virtual learning.
Plus, we get an inside look on what it's like for virtual teachers who are transitioning back onto campus. WSRH Extra starts now.
Welcome to this episode of WSRH Extra. I'm Emily Carbocci.
And I'm Madison Newman. With the development of a new city comes inevitable effects on surrounding communities and the people in them. Residents in one new city are still learning what this means for them as this area continues to grow. WSRH Extra reporter Chris Morrison has the story.
Within the last several years, the growth of developments have become very common in South Florida. One example of these developments is the Westlake community that is located along Seminole Whitney Road. With traffic constantly busy on this road, it would not seem to be smart to build a development there. City manager Ken Castle, however, admits that this was all considered in the plan.
All the roads were planned for the population at build-out, so the impact of traffic was already mitigated with all the either construction of Seminole Pratt to 4-lane and or payments to the county for construction of other roads.
The busyness of these roads are not the only related traffic issue that plagues the area. Some drivers feel that the numerous traffic lights are also a major issue.
I notice I have to wait a lot more often because of the lights, because there's a lot more traffic lights with Westlake being put in there. It used to be just a nice straight ride, like on weekends you just zoom on through.
Even though traffic being an accounted issue, there are many factors that sometimes are not accounted for right away. One of these factors includes even more development than initially planned for.
Comprehensive master plan anticipates up to 6,500 homes total. There is one section that was not included in the original development order. It's about little over 120 acres, called Silver Lakes. That's currently being looked at by another developer.
Despite these negative effects, there are some positives to take away from the growing population at the Westlake Development.
Currently, we have Winn-Dixie coming back to the Grove Marketplace. Publix is coming in on the other side of the street. We have in the pipeline 3 or 4 sites for restaurants coming in that I understand that there's been 5 or 6 commitments from major chains.
With the constant construction spreading throughout Westlake, traffic will become a growing issue in the coming years. For WSRH Extra, I'm Chris Morrison.
Along with the pandemic has come a new type of learning. While virtual education affects everyone differently, elementary students are having an especially difficult time adjusting to this change. WSRH Extra reporter Andrea Davino shows us how they are adapting.
Students this school year are having to adjust to a completely new way of learning as a result of the pandemic. While learning virtually is tough enough already, it's especially challenging for elementary students who are having to learn important core skills they will need later on completely through a computer screen.
A large part of what they learn when they come to school isn't just the reading and the writing and the math, but it's how to be good citizens and how to interact with their peers, to take turns, to walk in line. So even though they're maintaining social distance, they're missing that social gap and that emotional learning.
As opposed to older kids, younger students in grades such as kindergarten and first are still learning how to fully read, which makes virtual learning even more difficult for them to navigate.
As for me, I have first grade. A lot of them can't read by themselves. They don't have anyone at home willing to help them, and I have to show them exactly what to do. And if there's trouble and something's not working right, it's really hard trying to figure it out with them.
Because elementary students are generally very hands-on learners, this makes it difficult for them to fully grasp new skills and concepts.
Another thing they do in elementary school is they like to touch things. When they're learning to read, they touch the word, touch the sounds they're making, and that doesn't translate as well through the camera.
Due to the fact that virtual students are losing crucial personal time with their teachers, lessons they struggle with are not being reinforced as much as they would, which could affect them in the future.
Some of them are doing okay virtually, but many of them are not, especially in the area of reading, because it's hard to find one-on-one time to read with the virtual kids and to practice their skills and their phonics and things like that. So definitely there's going to be some learning lost this year.
Despite the many challenges virtual learning has faced younger students with, there have been some surprising positives that have come out of the situation as well.
There has been a positive. So a lot of the children that started out virtual, especially the kindergartners, when they came to school, we didn't have that crying and that separation anxiety because they felt like they already knew their classmates, they already knew their teachers. So that was one of the positives.
Even though this has been a tough school year, specifically for younger grades, teachers are doing their best to prepare their students for next year and all the rest of their school years as best they can. For WSRH Extra, I'm Andrea Davino.
As the school year comes to a close, many teachers who were previously teaching virtually from home are beginning to return to campus. For many, this transition has been more difficult than expected. WSRH Extra reporter Presley Rodriguez has more on the story.
On-campus learning has been happening since August, but some teachers did not feel comfortable being back on campus just yet. Recently, some of these teachers have decided it was their time to come back on campus. Although they are excited to be back, they have faced some challenges.
Teaching students both at home and in the classroom, and it's like teaching two classes at the same time.
The interaction with students that teachers are capable of as part of in-person learning has been something they enjoyed in this transition.
At the end of the day, I'm tired, but it's a good tired because before I was just looking at the screen the whole day. So here I'm getting that human interaction, even if I cannot get too close to them. It's a nice tired. It's a nice thing to be back interacting with the kids.
The reason many teachers have been comfortable coming back to campus has been because of the progress of the vaccine.
I got my 2 shots.
I got my shot, my vaccine.
With teachers coming back, they have also seen much more improvement in their students when learning their lessons.
Oh my gosh, students do so much better when they actually have a teacher in the classroom. They do so much better. They've improved tremendously.
Now with the return of teachers, everything will hopefully be returning back to normal by next year, with more teachers and students being back on campus. For WSRH Extra, I'm Presley Rodriguez.
As more and more people continue moving to South Florida every day, traffic is increasing as a result. WSRH Extra reporter Madison Newman gives us a closer look at how this affects South Florida residents.
The sound of multiple car horns is common all around the world, with an average amount of 1.4 billion drivers on the road each day. These high levels of traffic create a headache for all drivers and causes stress during their daily commute.
There's just so many snowbirds and they always come up and clog the traffic and drive slow.
Real estate broker Hazel Collins has experienced traffic in a different way as she sells properties to new residents moving into Palm Beach County.
Being in the real estate profession, we see a lot of people moving to Florida, which in turn brings a lot of traffic with them. Now we have an additional 30,000 people moving into the area as well.
Businesses such as Home Depot have been impacted by the ongoing traffic issue as well, which has not only affected the employees, but also their customers.
Working at Home Depot can be a bit frustrating sometimes because of all the Chick-fil-A customers and all of our customers, that parking lot gets very crowded.
According to the Sunshine State's Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, 33,565 New Yorkers turned in their New York driver's licenses for Florida ones between the months of September 2020 and March 2021, which helps explain the recent traffic increase the state has been experiencing. With these new residents moving into Palm Beach County, traffic will grow even more, forcing people to adjust to the changes.
Can't even begin to imagine how we're going to be able to handle all the added traffic once all the new people get into place.
Traffic can be something that disrupts everyone's daily commute, but sometimes you just have to ride it out. For WSRH Extra, I'm Madison Newman. Bright Futures is a program that rewards Florida high school graduates with scholarships for their high academic achievements. However, talk about changes to the eligibility requirements for this scholarship could affect future graduates in a major way. WSRH Extra reporter Haley Bass has more on what these changes may mean.
Bright Futures is the most popular scholarship program in the state of Florida and has allowed hundreds of students to pursue their dreams of a college career. Recently, Florida Senator Dennis Baxley proposed Senate Bill 86. This bill would potentially eliminate funds for students receiving the Bright Futures Diploma if their major did not lead to an employment. Although the bill was changed in the Senate and did not pass through the House, many parents and students fear that funding may be cut years later.
I definitely feel that they have a right to be upset. They have planned, some of these parents have planned for this for years. Students have worked for 4 years. Some of them have already earned their Bright Futures as juniors and now are looking to have it lost while they're possibly in college.
The cutting of these scholarship funds would have hurt many minority students who rely on the scholarship for college.
The minority students do use this as one of the ways to be able to go to college and pay for college without going into debt, and this is going to negatively affect them.
This bill has also increased the stigma around certain majors, discouraging students to do what they love.
I think it's unfair that they're taking tuition or scholarships away based on a major, because then you're just going to get a bunch of students going into majors that they don't want, making it oversaturated and even more competitive to get into.
Although Senate Bill 86 did not pass, the idea of funds cut is out in the air, and this is something that many parents and students worry about. For WSRH Extra, I'm Haley Bass.
Well, that's it for this episode of WSRH Extra. I'm Madison Newman.
And I'm Emily Carbocci, signing off for the last time. If you have any story ideas, please tweet us at Seminole Ridge TV.